Assalamu alaikum. We are still in Surah number 2 and we reach Ayah 28, verse 28. Let us go to read verse 28. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. How do you disbelieve in Allah? How do you disbelieve? Why you disbelieve? كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا, you were dead, you were nothing. Allah says in a different ayah, ألم يأتي على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Haven't the time when man or human being were nothing to be remembered before their birth, before their coming to this life? Haven't they experienced that? Haven't they gone through that cycle of nothing before? They were nothing. Who was this stupid who destroyed Afghanistan and Iraq before his birth? He was nobody. He wasn't even mentioned. Nobody knew his name before he came. So every human being had a state before birth, before existence. And Allah says, Kuntum amwatan, you were dead. What is the state of the dead? What is the state of the dead? After a lengthy period of time, first the body will start to have worms that will eat the flesh and consume the body part by part. Then the bones are left. Then the bones with time, they return into dust. In most cases, the skull, the thickest bone in the body, will last a little longer with other parts like the belly, like the hip and some of the thighs. Because the bones are thicker, they take longer. But at the end, what will happen to the dead? They will completely disappear, return to dust. They came from dust, they return to dust. So now, at this stage, if we open the grave and we try to look for the body, we find nothing. Nothing. The bones are gone, the flesh and blood are gone. Everything, that human being disappears completely. There is no existence to that individual anymore, any long, with a period of time. So at this stage, as if he never existed. So the same state that he is in right now, nothing left, is the first state. Allah says in the ayah, كَمَا بَدَأْنَا أَوَّلَ خَلْقٍ نُعِيدًا. As we started the first creation, we return it back. How did he start? He starts from nothing. How does he end? He ends with nothing. How he starts again? Being created and then everlasting. There is no death, no vanishing part. Very well. Allah says, كيف تكفرون بالله? How? Why? You disbelieve in Allah. كنتم أمواتا, you were dead, you were nothing. ألم يأتي على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Weren't there one time you were not even ever remembered or mentioned or known to anyone? Nothing. كنتم أمواتا فأحياكم. Then he brought you to life. He gave you life. أحياكم. Who? He. أحياكم. هو أحياكم. He gave you life. ثم يميتكم. Who will put you to death? You will put yourself to death when you commit suicide? You're wrong. It is time for you to die. And on top of that, you'll be punished for taking the life that Allah gave you, thinking that you have the right to take it away. ثم يميتكم, he will put you to death. ثم يحييكم, and then he will bring you back to life. And then what? What's the next stage? He will put you to death again? No. ثم إليه ترجعون. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. And then after that, unto him you will return. Go back. So in the beginning, looks from Turja'un, in the beginning we were with Allah, in the hand of Allah, in His kingdom somewhere. In our non-existing state, we were with Allah, where Allah wants us. And then He brought us to life, put us to death, bring us back to life, and go back to Him again, as we were in the first part. So according to Allah, and this is a very dangerous issue. I don't want to go there, because I will make so many of you angry and frustrated. Okay, we are talking about 4 states. Allah says 4 states. Non-existence, life, death, life. 4 states. We were dead, alive, dead, alive. 4 states. 4 states. Who created us, who knows better than you and I, He said 4 states. But now when some of us say we go to the grave, So we were dead, non-existence, dead. كنتم أمواتا فأحياكم, He brought you to life. ثم يميتكم, then He put you in death, to death. Now we are dead in the grave. So they say, wait a minute. ثم يحييكم, He will revive you inside the grave to be punished. And then after that, there is an ayah says, كل من عليها فان. Everybody on it, every living thing on it will be put to death, will be demolished. So, ثم يميتكم. Should be, because everything on it will go to death state. And then Allah says, ثم يحييكم. So now, instead of 4 states, death, life, no, we have death, life, death, life, death, life. 6 states, because of what they claim. 6 states. So Allah says 4, but they say no, we know better than Allah. It is 6 states. Death, life, death, life, death in the grave, life in the grave, and death and life. So we were dead, we are born to existence, come to this life, alive, dead, alive, and then dead, we are in the grave, and then now alive to receive punishment in the grave, and then dead again, because كل من عليها فان, then alive. ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. 6 states. Allah says 4. Some of us say 6. Alright, you believe what you want to believe. I believe in the Noble Quran. I myself believe Allah. It is the haqq. Allah says haqq. It is the truth, the absolute truth. Anything apart from the Quran is not the absolute truth. So if Allah says 4 times, 4 states, the cycle of life is 4 parts, then it is 4, not 6. You believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to discuss that. I'll provoke anger from those ignorant who do not want to understand. Very well. So, كنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. This is how Allah designed the cycle, not according to the Hindu. The Hindus say that from the beginning everything existed. They lived for a certain life, And the cycle starts. Life, death, then the spirit will wait in a rock or a cat or a tree, and reincarnation happen, and then death, and the spirit back into an object, and then life again, reincarnation, and so on. It's a cycle until they break from the cycle in the consciousness of their God. And then they live as gods on a different planet with followers and everything else. Complete nonsense. Utter nonsense. It matches nothing that we know about. Okay? Mere sick fiction. So, no, this is not the way the Lord planned things, and the evidence about what He said is so clear in our life. So clear. Very well. Even the plants. You plant something, it comes out alive, and it dies in autumn, and then in spring, back to life, and so on. The cycle of life. But not for a human being. This is not the human being. Otherwise we would have seen those who lived hundreds, thousands of years back will be alive today with us. But, we don't care about the incarnation nonsense. All right. So I hope you understand the cycle of life. Take care.